All right, in this video, we're going to be doing our ankle assessment, starting with the active range of motion as always. Now, ankle does technically 4 motions. It's a little bit complicated, but we're also going to involve the toe flexion and extension, big toe flexion and extension, because of the special connection of big toe to all the other intrinsic foot muscles. However, normally ankle will basically do dorsiflexion, so please bring your toes towards your head. That is dorsiflexion, okay? And then now bring your toes towards me, like pushing a gas pedal. Perfect, and that is plantar flexion. So again, we're looking at the joint line here, and again, do a plantar flexion for me towards me. Excellent, and then dorsiflexion. Now in this case, I would like you to point out, like bring your attention to the entire knee complex and ankle complex together. Because a lot of those ankle movers are coming from the knee complex area to the entire leg. So make sure that you're actually observing as much as possible the entire thing while it's happening, not just fixate on the ankle, because there's not much to see on the ankle other than just the range of motion. For a good full assessment, make sure that you have a zoom out a little bit from your own perspective. Other 2 motions are basically inversion and eversion, but interchangeably it is also used as supination and pronation. I like to use inversion and eversion because that's a little bit easier to remember, because pronation and supination also is a combination of multiple different things. So as far as the inversion is concerned, I would like you to rotate your foot towards the center in this manner. Yes, perfect. Now that's inversion. And now as much as possible towards the outside, eversion. This is again one of those things that I want to make sure that this is not happening in the entire kinetic chain. So let's go for it. For example, can we please do an eversion, please? Now in this position, when the client does eversion, you will notice that the hip is also doing an internal rotation a little bit. The entire kinetic chain is actually moving. So you have to ignore this and maybe point out the client trying not to do that and just show me a pure eversion. Like let's go, and then they stop right there. This is more of a pure eversion. And then same idea with the inversion. It can turn into an external rotation. Inversion and eversion. Now we're going to add, as I said, toe flexion and extension, big toe flexion and extension. So let's do a big toe extension. And now in most cases, most people won't be able to do individual toe motions. So here is the best way to do that, actually isolate it to see an actual big toe extension by simply stabilizing the other ones. And same thing will happen with the flexion, and we'll be able to tell toe flexion. Otherwise, if I move my hand, the whole thing can go down. It gets a little bit complicated. So it's okay to here stabilize to see big toe flexion and extension. That's the AROM, active range of motion of the ankle, and we will proceed to the passive range of motion in our next video. All right, and we're going to continue our ankle range of motion testing with passive range of motion now. And as always, I'm going to be doing the motions instead of the client. Now, ankle has an exception to that rule because Achilles tendon is the strongest, biggest tendon in the body. So I can't necessarily do a good dorsiflexion without client is helping me. So in this case, please remember that you have to ask the client to do dorsiflexion first, and then you take over by simply asking them to relax. For example, this is a good example to show. If I don't do that and I personally just passively try to do dorsiflexion, this is where I end up basically stopping, and I will say, yeah, tissue stretch, and that's passive range of motion. However, if I ask client to continue doing dorsiflexion, all of a sudden you'll see another 20 degrees of difference with active. So it's not necessarily accurate to just passively do it by yourself. In this case, the exception to that rule is because normally passive range of motion is just supposed to be 100% passive. Dorsiflexion of the ankle is the exception. You ask client to actively do it first, and then you ask the client to relax. You take over and go further, and then you have your tissue stretch. So that's dorsiflexion. Remember, first active, then take over. You don't need to do that in any of the other ones. With plantar flexion, very simple. You can use 2 hands or 1 hand stabilizing the ankle. You're looking at, again, tissue stretch. Very simple, dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. Now for the eversion and inversion, you have to remember the midline of the ankle is actually second toe. In the hand, it's actually middle finger is the midline. So there's a big difference. A lot of clients, a lot of students actually forget that and use the third toe as the midline. It's actually the second midline. So I need to make sure that my hands are on the second toe midline when I'm doing inversion and eversion action. So for inversion, I'm turning the ankle to inversion this way and passive overpressure tissue stretch. And then for eversion, same passive overpressure tissue stretch. Again, make sure that you're on the second toe to use midline, inversion, and eversion. As you can notice, inversion is a lot more than eversion, so keep that in mind, please. And if the patient has an injury past, history-wise, they rotated their ankle, be very, very careful. You might not need to do passive overpressure because this is supposed to be roughly around 40 degrees, 60 degrees area. If it's more than that, please stop. You're in the hypermobile zone. No passive overpressure if that's the case. And very simply, we're going to conclude our test with toe extension, trying to stick with the order that we did on the AROM, and toe flexion. Now, again, toe extension, passive overpressure, tissue stretch, and we're going with the toe flexion, passive overpressure. Again, we're looking at the tissue stretch. That's an important detail. Please make sure that you're actually not the tip. The entire toe needs to be stretched here for tissue stretch, and the entire toe needs to be stretched on the edge here. Again, tissue stretch. So that will conclude the 6 motions. One more time: dorsiflexion with an active component, plantar flexion, inversion, eversion, toe extension, and toe flexion. 6 motions, just like the AROM. And this will conclude the passive range of motion, and we will continue our next one with the resistant range of motion of the ankle complex. Alright, for the last portion of our ankle complex testing, we're going to be doing resistant range of motion, and we will be using the same 6 motions that we did for active and passive. So same idea, we're going to try to keep the same order. First one will be the dorsiflexion. Now for the ankle open pec position, this is really it. We're trying to make sure that the ankle is on the neutral position. But in most cases, because gastrocnemius soleus, like posterior muscles, are very, very tight, that usually when you let the ankle go, they actually end up on a plantar flexion level. So sometimes you do need to do a quick correction and bring it onto anatomical position, as they call it, neutral position of the ankle. So in this case, I'm going to ask the client to hold right here. I'm going to push from here and push it into plantar flexion by testing dorsiflexors. So I'm going to be here. Now, you might want to use 2 hands or simply have another hand on the ankle for basically trying to palpate and assess at the same time. And here we go. I'm going to push from here. Don't let me move you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And quickly switch and move into plantar flexion test. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, statistically speaking, you will see a drastic difference on a lot of people on their dorsiflexion power and plantar flexion power. So my recommendation would be prepare yourself for a big plantar flexion strength if you compare it to dorsiflexion strength. So let's do this again one more time. Here, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And notice that I'm on the metatarsals. And on here, same idea. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's plantar flexion. Now for the inversion and eversion, remember we did the inversion first. So I'm going to try to pull the client into eversion, which means that they will activate their inverters. Okay, again, I'm on the midline and we're going eversion. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And quickly follow up with the inversion, checking eversion. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Now for the toe extension and toe flexion, big toe extension and big toe flexion, not the tip, but the proximal area, please. And holding on these ones, not really doing anything, just to isolate it. You see the tendon right here. And hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And in this case, we're going to do the flexion one right here, again on the proximal side. It's a good idea to actually grab the entire segment here and push up and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that will basically conclude the flexion and extension of the big toe. And we already did dorsiflexion and plantar flexion and inversion and eversion, 6 motions. And as always, do not forget please to compare bilaterally AROM, PROM, RROM, and that should complete the ankle range of motion testing.